The San Francisco 49ers just suffered a heartbreaking loss in a crucial divisional game against the Seattle Seahawks. Despite leading for most of the game and seemingly being in control, they failed to secure the win in a matchup that appeared to favor them. This raises a pressing question. What is wrong with the 49ers? Is quarterback Brock Purdy the issue? Could injuries be derailing their season? Maybe the problem lies within the coaching decisions or the defense, or perhaps it's a combination of all these factors. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down some footage and looking at why the 49ers find themselves at the bottom of the NFC West after 10 games. Let's dive into what's really going on with this team. Defensively, the 49ers rank 8th in both passing yards and rushing yards allowed per game. They average 2.6 sacks per game, placing them 12th in the league, and they haven't allowed an opponent to score over 30 points this season. Additionally, 1.6 takeaways per game also ranks 8th in the NFL. On paper, this unit, led by stars like Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, is performing well. However, despite these strong stats, something feels off. This defense has moments of inconsistency and lapses in discipline that undermine its overall effectiveness. Injuries, though, like injuries to Dre Greenlaw and an injury to Nick Bosa in this game, hindered this team's ability to really perform on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive coordinator, who was just promoted this year, Nick Sorensen, appears to be doing a solid job, but the eye test doesn't really reveal that he is. It's almost revealing areas of concern. And injuries offensively have also been a huge problem in scoring touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey just returned after a season-long injury of Achilles tendonitis in both legs, which is a serious injury. He returned in their game last week against the Buccaneers. George Kittle has missed 2 games this season, where if he plays this Sunday against the Seahawks, this is a completely different game. Brandon Aiyuk out for the season with that horrific knee injury sustained in the Week 7 game against the Chiefs. And even Nick Bosa, like I said, he's dealing with an oblique injury, and these defensive and offensive injuries are hindering their success. And the absence of the 49ers players who are injured is really overall affecting this coaching job. The coaching hasn't been able to compensate for these losses. But offensively, let's look at some stats, all right? Brock Purdy is playing above average. He is, I believe he's 6th or 5th in the league in passing yards total. He averages 260 passing yards per game. He has a 13-8 touchdown to interception ratio, which isn't great, but his yards are good. We know he's moving the ball. They're just struggling to find the end zone, and these numbers are respectable. They just don't tell the full story. The offense has struggled to deliver in critical moments, just like the defense. This team has been a contender for, I would say, about a decade now, and is, well, about 7, 8 years, and is plagued by an inability to close out games time and time again. They've let opponents hang around, even when the 49ers are better on paper. Whether it's defensive breakdowns, offensive stagnation, or coaching missteps, they fail to put away games when they have the chance. This inability to finish strong has been a recurring issue, turning what could have been a promising season into one filled with question marks. The struggle goes beyond statistics, and for a team as talented and experienced as the 49ers, this is a troubling trend, and unless they find a way to rediscover their edge and close out games, their season could continue to unravel. And now we're going to look at some clips and look at especially the last drive in the Seahawks game and just break down what really happened to this team yesterday and throughout the season. Now, we're going to look at the end of this Seahawks-Niners game, from the touchdown from the Niners to the eventual game-winning touchdown by the Seahawks, and we see a really nice play design, play-action flat route to Jawan Jennings in the end zone, and this is the kind of plays that we need to see more of from the Niners. The Niners are a good team. They should be scoring very efficiently in the red zone, especially with running backs Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason, who has broken out and do something this season with the absence of Christian McCaffrey. He is a good back, and he's a great backup to have. Now, I believe he was injured for this game, but regardless, Deebo Samuel was non-existent. George Kittle was injured. This offense is struggling to find ways into the end zone, ways to score points. And the biggest thing, though, is this defense. All right, we see a 3rd and 1. Geno Smith stopped arguably short. It could have gone either way, I believe. But then 4th and inches, handoff to Zach Charbonnet, right up the gut, gets stuffed. There's less than 4 minutes on the clock. And this is where the Niners really should have won this game. They should run the ball, waste 3 timeouts for the Seahawks, and either punt it away or pray to God you get a first down. First play of the game, or first play of the drive, 11-yard rush for Christian McCaffrey. This should be the end of the game. He gets a first down. Now you have to waste, you're going to waste about another minute of time. And then on first down, it's a negative 1-yard rush. So that's another timeout. Then it's an incomplete pass on 2nd down, and that was really important. And then this short This short pass to Juwan Jennings didn't really provide anything for the Niners, and the Seahawks had to only call 2 of their timeouts. So now there's 2.5 minutes, and the Seahawks team, who has proved that they really couldn't score in this game, is going to end up carving apart this pretty stout Niners defensive unit. Now, I know there's injuries, and Nick Bosa was pretty much a game changer throughout this game, and he gets hurt. Regardless, this team should have stopped this Seahawks team. The Seahawks unit is not incredibly, overwhelmingly, I don't want to say talented because that's not the case. They're just not overwhelmingly dangerous as a defense. But you let them be dangerous. You let Geno Smith have all the time he needed in the pocket, and even then, you didn't contain the run, as you're seeing from this clip, and you're seeing from the eventual touchdown where he gets a 12-yard rushing touchdown or 10-yard rushing touchdown. Overall, this team just cannot close out games. They're giving away the short pass. They're giving away like these intermediate runs. There's just an array of things that are causing them to lose these games. And we saw it all come to fruition yesterday when a game that I felt like they should have walked away with, they just failed to do so. And I'm going to show you another game where they ended up another 2 games. They ended up walking away with a win, but in reality, they made it way too close. So the first clip I'm going to show you is this play in the Cowboys-Niners game where the Cowboys actually almost come back and win this game. They really had a shot. And what you're going to see, we're going to work left to right here. So we're going to see an inside release crosser, an outside release crosser, right? Jake Ferguson's going to come here and drag just right across the middle. Then we see a whip out from this other guy right here. And then CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is who we're looking at. He had a legacy game this game. I think he put up like 40 fantasy points. I wasn't facing him, but still. And then you're going to see this crosser into this, into this almost wheel kind of shape. I don't remember the name of the route. But when I say in the beginning, I said that the 49ers defense shows this inconsistency and sometimes this lack of discipline. And this is what I mean, staying disciplined, not penalty-wise, because they're pretty good penalty-wise, but discipline in your zone, in your position. So here's the clip. I'll go ahead and roll it. You just see CeeDee Lamb kind of almost gives a half-assed route, and it's wide open. This is wide open. Everything across the middle kind of creates this almost sense of it's this sense of unawareness to where this ball is going. And CeeDee Lamb, I mean, when you hear me say half-assed, this is what I mean. Look at him run this route. Now, I don't know if it's an intentional route, but he's definitely not running full speed. We know that. He's a fast guy. I mean, this is a game that the Niners put away at this point, but they really didn't. They're up 17 late in the fourth quarter, and this game is still not over. And that's what I mean when I say this team lacks discipline. And now we're looking at this field goal that puts the Niners up 13 with 4.5 minutes left. This game should be over. This should be over. There should be no question. The fans should be no stress, nothing. And it's not. It's not. The Niners had failed to put this game away as well. CeeDee Lamb, like I said, had an absolute career game. They had no answer for him, and we saw this against the Seahawks this most previous week. We saw it against the Seahawks earlier in the season. This defense just kind of crumbles when they're relied on the most. We see them dominate throughout 3.5 quarters, and then for some reason, when the game seems to be put away, the offense had done its job, and all they need is this defense to show out. The defense does not. As you can see, CeeDee Lamb, again, wide open in the end zone to make this a 6-point game. Now, as a Niners fan, you would be sitting here like, okay, all we need is 1 first down. We need 1 first down. They find themselves in the 3rd and 10. Luckily, it was a completion, a good play by Brock Purdy moving throughout the pocket, making a little jump pass to waste that last Dallas timeout. And if it weren't for the Dallas Cowboys' absolute incompetence and their just failure to make plays all over, if this was a completed catch, they have the ball in the 40. That should be a catch. Turpin should have caught that, and he didn't. They have the ball in the 40, and they have a chance to go win this game. Luckily for the Niners, he didn't catch it, and maybe a missed PI, not going to be the one to say it, could have been the game. And look, overall, the Niners are a great team. They have a great team on paper, I mean. They have the talent. They have everything that they need to be a playoff team, a team that wins playoff games at that, who can actually make a difference in January, who can make a run. They have the ability to be that team. We just need to see it. They haven't proved it yet this season, but I think that they can. So I'm looking at their schedule right now. Their next games are against the Packers on the road, dicey. Against the Bills on the road, another dicey game. Then you've got the Bears and Rams at home, followed by the Dolphins on the road, the Lions at home, and then the Cardinals on the road. That Cardinals on the road is probably going to be the game that decides this division, at least in my opinion. Now, overall, though, this team is just lackluster and they lack discipline, and that's my take on it. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And what do you guys think of the Niners? Do you think they can turn it around, or do you think they're destined to be sitting on their couches come January? Drop it down in the comments.